ChessBase 18 is finally here, and you're asking yourself, should I buy it? Will this review answer that question unequivocally for me? So let's get something out of the way first. This is less a review and more an overview, since, as far as I'm concerned, ChessBase is essential software for any serious chess player, whether they be a budding amateur or a battle-hardened professional. So if you don't own ChessBase, but are serious about the game, then the answer is simply yes, buy it. On the other hand, if you're coming from a previous version, say ChessBase 17, then the answer may be a bit more nuanced, since it is up to you to decide whether the new features it brings will justify the upgrade price. I will nevertheless tell you upfront that, as far as I'm concerned, the new features do justify the upgrade and being great value to players of all levels. Really. Finally, since it was released on the same day, there is Mega 2025. In theory, a review of it would really be a more checklist of incremental increases, over 11 million games now, 113,000 commented games, and so on. It also comes with a subscription for a year of automatic updates every week. But thanks to the unique features in ChessBase 18, its value has only increased. But enough foreplay. Let's get on with it. So what kind of features are we talking about? Well, among its most prominent features is the Style Analyzer, which has the program go through a set of games of a player and identify their stylistic tendencies, as well as recognizable strengths and weaknesses. Since this can apply to you as well, it means not only it helps you prepare against an opponent with hitherto unknown depth, but it will help you pinpoint your own failings to know what aspects of your game need the most work. So this is the home screen of ChessBase 18, and as you can see, it's undergone a certain facelift. The icons have been changed to a more Spartan, simple, dark blue outline icon and imagery style, and it's nice enough and easy to recognize, so on that, it's a positive note. On the left here, we can see the list of databases and options and whatnot. There are a few changes that needs to be pointed out. The first being there is this video section, which wasn't there before, as I recall. And if you click on it here, you will be given a number of options. Now, when you buy ChessBase 18, you're also given a 1-year subscription to ChessBase Premium, which is their online subscription service with a number of services, including tactics, database functions, and whatnot through web apps, as well as videos and streaming services. And if I were to click on it, it would open up one of the programs and allow me to view it directly. Also, you have here the shop. And if I were to click here on the little expand the directories, which is very much a Windows-style option, you have your products, recommendations, streaming products. And the advantage here is that if I click on it, it will display a selection of all of the software and programs that I own through ChessBase on their download service. You can see some of them have already been installed, such as Mega 2025, Master Advanced Tactics and Calculations by Vidit, a really great video, by the way, and a number of other programs which have green arrows. These green arrows indicate that I don't have them currently installed on my system, and I'm free to install them directly here as opposed to having to go to the website, go to the download section, choose the program to download, etc., etc., etc. So this allows you to do this directly within ChessBase in a much easier and more accessible way, and it's nice. So let's take a look at the style profiler and see how that works. So the first thing you're going to need is a player, and it's simpler just to go to Mega Database and we'll open that, but it doesn't have to be it. And here we have the opening screen of Mega Database, nothing fancy. We're going to go to Players. And here I can choose basically any player in the database, and that's true of any database you happen to create as well. And up here at the top, you can see we have the new buttons, more specifically Style Report and Error Report. And those two are absolutely extraordinary, and I'm going to show them to you. So first, let's take a look at Style Report and see what that does. So we're going to start with a player who has a very well-established style, who's actually famous for his distinctive way of playing, Mikhail Tal. So to do that, we're going to go down here to the search. We could, of course, scroll right down, but it's easier to do it this way. We're going to click over here, and we're going to type in Tal. And immediately goes down to all the names with Tal, and if I had done more letters, it, of course, would narrow that even more. And here we can, of course, see Mikhail Tal. We're going to click on him. And we're going to choose Style Report. Now, Mikhail Tal is a player who evolved greatly over time with such an extensive career. And in the beginning of his career, he was famous for his very speculative sacrifices, which actually won him the world title in 1960 against Mikhail Botvinnik. So let's first analyze his style at that particular period of time. We're going to go to 1958 and we'll go to 1961. Okay, and now we're going to click on OK. And immediately begins to generate it, and it's extremely fast. And you're wondering, well, how on earth can it possibly compile a detailed report on his style of play in the space of seconds? Did I edit out all of the time that it was calculating and compiling this report? No, not at all. It really took as many seconds as you saw, which was probably the space of maybe 2 or 3. And the reason is that it's not running an engine in the classic sense. Instead, ChessBase 18 has an extensive set of algorithms which have been created to identify characteristics of the position. It then groups all of these together, and with a number of them is able to determine different aspects of its style. So for example, let's take a look here and see what we have. We can see it says score 82%. Now this score is actually his winning rate percentage against his opponents. Here we have theory, we have decided games, tenacity, and we'll learn what these mean. Aggressiveness and risk, absolutely phenomenal, and that should come as no surprise. And of course, positional play a little bit lower, and endgame affinity 40%. And we have a compiled list of observations which tell us basically what the program has been able to understand about his actual style. He's very strong as white with many quick wins, strong openings, clear opening advantage as white, few modern mainlines. And remember, these modern mainlines don't reflect the time that he was playing, but reflect our time now. No gambit is black, rarely fianchettoed is white, that's interesting. Keeps queens on board, enjoys asymmetric material, really loves sacrifices. Well, that's not really a revelation, is it? Not worried about king's safety, creates counterplay, attacks the king, risky and sharp play. Active piece play is black, isolated d-pawn is black, often a bad bishop is black, strong with rooks, and wins equal endgames. And if we scroll down, we'll see some of the statistics. We can see theme games. King's attack is white, 60%. The grandmaster average is 38%. King's attack is black, 60%. Again, grandmaster's average is 38%. Counterplay, 7%. GM's 6%. Okay? And we'll scroll down. We'll see he has a lot of sacrifices, way more sacrifices than the average GM. 46% of his games included sacrifices. GM's 20%, sacrifices black, opposing castling, and whatnot. And if you click on them, it will show you one of these representative games showing this particular theme illustrated. So let's see, we have a sacrifice as white, Tal versus Johannesson. Okay, so it opens up the game and it shows us position with knight d5. And let's see what we're looking at here. So we're going to go through the moves. Aha, a bishop takes f7. That sounds promising. Now, ChessBase, of course, is extremely customizable, and if you've seen my tutorial on ChessBase in general, you'll know how easily this is done. So we're just going to modify the appearance here to preference. I haven't done this yet with this particular version. We're going to go here, we're going to click on Maple, and click on Apply, and I will set the background to wood. And we're good to go. Excellent. Okay, so knight bd7. Ooh, nice. Bishop takes f7. Rook takes f7. Knight takes f7. King takes f7. Queen b3. King f8. And yes, it seems pretty clear that this is definitely a game that fits in the theme of a sacrifice as white. And if we were to go down and click on any of the other ones, we would get even more information. Now, the question really is, what are all of these little statistics? We see score, theory, score we understood already, theory, decided games, tenacity. What is tenacity? How is tenacity defined? So according to the developers, tenacity is defined as considers the number of hard-fought draws, short draws, and the willingness to exchange pieces. Likewise, aggressiveness, as opposed to risk, is defined by the frequency of strong king attacks, sacrifices and gambits, and of course the avoidance of queen exchanges. And risk is the complexity in the games measured by the program, sharp openings, gambits, and of course asymmetrical structures. And then you have positional play, which sounds really fascinating because in one lump of 2 words, it's basically trying to sort out all of the different strategical aspects of a chess game. And the general definition given here includes active piece play, strong piece placement, avoidance of weaknesses, and spatial advantages. And now we're going to the next function, which is error report. Now, the error report isn't to tell you how good or how bad you are, even though it might reflect those numbers. It is more about being able to break down the characteristics of a player, because as you'll see, it doesn't simply compile a long list of how many blunders or mistakes you made. So imagine you were a young IM, a very famous YouTube streamer, and your new ambition was now to become a grandmaster. And Levy, if you're watching this, please know that I'm your fan and I'm completely rooting for you to achieve your goal. So we'll go to Error Report and click OK. And we can go through the quick analysis or the slower analysis. However, keep in mind that even with slower, it's going to be going through every single game in the space of a few seconds, not minutes. But with the power of engines today on today's hardware, that isn't really a problem. So the report is finally done, and for full disclosure, the slower mode analysis of 109 games took roughly 20 to 25 minutes. And you can see that it also produced a blunder ELO. Now, this blunder ELO is an estimate based on a sampling of grandmasters between 25 and 2600 done previously by ChessBase, and estimates the number of blunders expected relative to the complexity of the position. So we can see the observations, very precise in complex positions, very tough in losing positions, precise in bad positions, all good, good against stronger players, quite precise against weaker players. I haven't yet seen it produce a long list of negative observations, but it might be the sample of players that I've actually used it with. Nevertheless, you will see a breakdown of those statistics, and they do not lie. So we're going to go down here, magnitude versus complexity. So you can see here a breakdown in the complexity, as well as a normalized reference number. So we have the result, which is 11.9, and grandmasters on average have 10.5. So not quite grandmaster level yet, but very close. We have a complexity measurement of 98, whereas the grandmasters average 91. But remember that this number represents the average of all grandmasters regardless of the style. So obviously grandmasters with a calmer style like Capablanca will have much lower complexity, and players who thrive on greater tactics and complications such as maybe Alekhine will have a much higher number. Now let's go down and see the breakdown of these numbers. And this information will be of equal value to both the student of the game, such as himself, or players playing against someone else that they don't actually know and need a quick profile to understand what their weaknesses and strengths are. So among the stats that stand out, we can see that there have been many more blunders in the endgame relative to grandmasters. So if you were a grandmaster playing against him and didn't know who he was or how he played, this would already tell you this is where you should be aiming for if that's within your skill set. One of the added benefits of the style report is that its newfound ability to identify strategic and positional elements almost instantly in games has been all added inside of the search function that you can use with Mega Database 2025 or any other database. So if I right click here, for example, and I go to search, and then I go to advanced, at the very top, there is now a new tab which says strategy. And if I click on it, I am now given a long list of options: structure, open position, pawn majority on the queen side, passed pawn, isolated d pawn, backward pawn, pieces, bad bishop, strong knight, strong rooks, reckless king, strong square, plans, opposite castling, queenside play, center play, and the list goes on. And you can look for different combinations of these as well as analyzed games, and therefore filter and prepare your study of all of these themes. Needless to say, opening up wide and powerful new possibilities for both students and teachers alike. Last but not least, we have the Load Online Player option. And this allows you to pull up the games of players on online servers such as Lichess or chess.com and separate and filter them according to the time control, and of course, pull out their games and prepare against them as you see fit. The last feature that I've yet to mention is a function that has been integrated and enhancing the cloud databases. Now, the cloud databases is a feature that has existed already for a number of editions. So if I were to go here to cloud databases, I'm shown a number of databases which I can throw into the cloud service of ChessBase. And I can then assign these databases to certain players so that they can view or modify them or leave them for my own personal perusal. But what has changed is that this is now available to you via an app on your phone. Inside, I can access any game or database from within my cloud database. So for example, I go to here to the search, and I'm given access to all of the databases, including the global database as well. So you're not limited only to your cloud database. I can actually search and consult the entire online database of 15 million games, as you can see here. That wraps up my overview of ChessBase 18 and the standout features it brings to the table. Overall, I was genuinely impressed by the new functions and what they allow for players. I think that tools such as the Style Report, with its ability to identify stylistic trends, combined with the Error Report, will allow new levels of preparation that were only dreamed of before, far surpassing the rudimentary opening preparation of the past. At the same time, the flexibility it offers to players to focus their training and development where it is most needed is a boon on all levels. The enhanced tools to access your cloud bases and openings via your phone, not to mention consult the online base's opening statistics, are just icing on the cake. Nevertheless, remember, this review is meant to only address what ChessBase 18 brings relative to ChessBase 17 and previous versions. So if you're upgrading from, say, ChessBase 15, then you would also be benefiting from all of the powerful features the subsequent editions brought as well. I'm not a little impressed, and I take my hat off to the developers, since coming up with ways to measurably improve such a program, approaching 40 years of continuous development, has to be a major challenge in and of itself. Personally, I am looking forward to exploring these tools further and finding ways to better integrate them into my workflow. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. Bye-bye.